Hello out there, you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear listening into another Wood Rock for Xbox discussion. And this time I'm going to be more so building upon the last discussion I did, the one talking about Project Spark and how that could be used as a dedicated game engine specifically for Microsoft platforms, as well as it being able to be something that allows people to make customized avatars or multiple avatars on an account. Now, honestly, it has been a while since I have personally touched the newer avatar system, and maybe you can make multiple avatars for a specific account, and I just didn't know about that. The only thing I do know is that just like the older avatar setup is that you can make or have multiple different outfits for your avatars to be able to use. Now, my biggest thing is that doesn't really get used in video games. There's so many different ideas that could be worked with that it's like, well, you have a development team working on these characters or caricatures of people and outfits and props and accessories for them, but you're not utilizing them for any video game whatsoever. And it seems like it's a waste. It's a waste of potential. Like I last talked about utilizing Project Spark, and then I talked about the kart racing game thing separately. So why not set up and have an avatar fighting game? Now, there were a few teams that did this on the 360, a few indies. There was one that did a game that was similar to Smash Brothers. Then there was another one that was done that was kind of Street Fighter-esque, but it really wasn't as good. It wasn't as polished. It was kind of stiff. Both of those actually they were as polished as the games that they were trying to emulate. So again, this is where Microsoft has the chance. And it's not like they don't have a development house for fighting game, because they have Killer Instinct. So to me, I'm thinking, hey, why not go ahead and have that team and do something smaller scale where, well, it's not necessarily smaller in scale, but it's just not as big as setting up a roster for Killer Instinct. Or more or less, I should say, it wouldn't be as popular an idea, at least not at the start. But just like my idea that I had for the Nintendo Switch, and I came up with Fight Me, which was a fighting game that utilizes Mii's, they could do something very similar for the Xbox with avatars. That's why I'm bringing it up. And you guys are probably going to hear a few different pitches from me for the Xbox utilizing the avatars. Because like Mii's, they have a very unlimited potential. So it's like, Microsoft, you have the money to do this. You have the money to crank out a bunch of games for this. So what I would propose for Microsoft would be for the game to be more traditional, more like Street Fighter or Fatal Fury or Art of Fighting or the King of Fighters, stuff like that. And I think that since they have a team working on Killer Instinct, they have the experience to do a fighting game now. Give them some other fighting game type projects to work on, where the characters you can utilize all that stuff that people can add to their avatars, the outfits and different accessories and things, have them be able to be utilized in a game. I'm not saying everything, because some things are certain licenses that they don't have to use for that. But for the stuff that they made specifically, they could have that stuff licensed out. I mean, they not licensed out, but they could have that stuff available. And with the fact that they have Killer Instinct under their belt, and they could use moves from the characters from that game. They could possibly use moves that are very similar to that of different fighting games from third-party companies. To me, I think it's just something that they should put the time and energy into. There's like so much potential for this one thing that they own, and they're not doing very much of anything with it. So I would say, hey, go ahead, put somebody on it, build a worthwhile game that could be fun to play, something that could be exclusive to your system, something that a lot of people could get into where they can put their own characters in, create their own movesets for the characters, and that they could have fun with. Now for me, I would personally set it up on a 4-button system, but that's just because it's easier to tap the face buttons more quickly. They could do a 6-button system if they wanted to, and allow it to be utilized with arcade joysticks or fighting pad controllers. There's stuff that they can do for that. But I mean, just for basic controls for everybody to have access to it, I would think that, yeah, hey, it'd be easier to set it up to have a 4-button setup and work your magic from there. Like where you can give people the options to set up how they want the moves performed, what inputs they want utilized for it, whether they want it to be super simplistic, whether they want it to be complicated. All of that's something that they can make choices on. And it will show a lot of creativity for them to put that type of work into something. But again, I'm just one person thinking that, hey, you got something that could be a real winner here. You got something that could draw a lot of people into it. All you have to do is put the time, the energy, and the effort into the product. But I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, or maybe it's just something that they're not interested in doing at any point in time. But hey, that's it for me. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games and peace out.